We are on the edge of something potentially quite big for Bitcoin. We've finally seen Bitcoin come back up to this high in the $24,000 range after this time quite a long period of just sideways trading action. We're now on a Monday, so a brand new trading week. That means our previous trading week candle has now closed. And I want to break all of this down for you to show you exactly what I'm seeing on this chart, because I think there's some quite strong implications for where Bitcoin could be headed. Now, just looking at this weekly time frame before we zoom in a little bit further and talk about what might happen in the short term, I think we are in a situation right now in this market where we've been making, relatively good progress to the upside. I'm just trying to find a nice chart where I don't have a bunch of drawings, but that's proving to be very difficult right now. This is a situation on this chart right here where I'm seeing some relatively nice controlled moves upwards, right? I mean, it would have been nice to see some sort of a pullback by now and then continue to rise up. But you know what? For the most part, we haven't been rocketing higher. I mean, if we measure this from our low to where we are right now, we're up by 40% in a period of about 60 days. I'm okay with that. Honestly, I am okay with that. I don't think that's too bad at all. If we zoom in onto the daily time frame, you can see that we have had nice pullbacks consistently throughout this uptrend, and these pullbacks have actually they do appear to me to be getting a little bit weaker. But let's actually measure this. I don't want to be making an assumption on this. If we measure this pullback from high to low, that's a minus 16.7% move. This was a minus 14.5% move, and this was a minus 9% move. So definitely our pullbacks are getting weaker, and that to me means that we are again pushing to the upside, just kind of showing us a lot of different signs. When we zoom in, a lot of people just look at this chart and like, yeah, okay, we're at 24k, but what I'm interested in is how did we get here? What are the signs of analysis that we can pull out from between the lines to really understand the energy that this market is carrying through right now? I know this might sound a little bit weird, but when you think about it, it's quite logical, right? If you look at how we got up to a certain price level, and actually, if we're just like constantly moving up, and we're not really pulling back, well, that might be a sign that we're in a somewhat unsustainable trend. But if we're getting pullbacks, yet each of these pullbacks are getting weaker, well, that's showing me that each time we push higher, we're still moving in relatively nicely controlled ways, right? Bears are having a chance to sell their Bitcoin, which means supply is having a chance to become exhausted. What we don't want, ladies and gents, is to reach a point where we should be looking at a really nice breakout, hopefully up to 28k, and I'm going to get to that in just a minute. So if you're excited for that, do me a favor and smash up the likes. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. What I don't want to see is that we're potentially getting up to price levels like $28,000 or getting close to those kind of breakout points, but there's still a lot of sustained selling pressure that hasn't really had a chance to have a release yet. You know what I mean? Like, I would prefer if there is a chance for the market to have a chance to I would prefer if the market has an opportunity to offload, some of those Bitcoins that want to be sold. And so we are getting those chances, but at the same time, the bears are putting up less of a fight each time. The bulls are putting up more of a fight each time. And this is happening as we approach the very same resistance level now that we have been rejected at 2 times in the past. Today is our third opportunity at it. And take a look at the move up. I mean, if we zoom in a little bit closer now, let's actually stick to the 4-hour time frame. One of the things I was talking about quite a bit on this YouTube channel was this 4-hour Ichimoku cloud. And look at how beautifully we've ended up finding support off this cloud right now. We bounced into the cloud a little bit, hovered around the green line, and then bam, we are up. We've seen quite a nice move up over here. This is a 6% move up within less than a day, so that is absolutely fantastic. And so to me, this is also looking very, very nice. We look at this on the daily time frame. Take a look at that daily EMA ribbon. Look at this. We're now getting a very nice move out of this EMA ribbon, especially if we end up rising up. Now, the key level to beat is going to be this prior high. So if we zoom in a little bit closer and take a look at this line, this is going to be the level to beat for the market, in my opinion. The reason I'm saying this is because this is where the market topped out at previously. And so if we are able to beat this level, well, then that is going to be a sign that we might be ready to move up significantly higher. Anything in this range or below this yellow line, we're still in, I don't want to say bearish territory, but we're still in resistance. That's the point. Like, this is still a resistance range. I think that if we are able to break this area, then this is where things could start flying up again. And if we move over to this chart, which I've been focusing a lot of your attention on over these last weeks and months, what you're going to know very well is that when Bitcoin managed to pump above $20,000, we only had one period of consolidation between $20,000 and $30,000. Actually, really, we only had one period of consolidation between 20 and 42 on the way up. This was a very, very quick leg. For those of you who were in the market back then, you're going to remember. Just let me know in the comments if you were here. I'd be curious to know how many of you guys still watching this channel were around when the market first broke out. Just let me know in the comments by saying I was here back in 2020. That would be very, very cool, because what we had right here was a very, very quick run up, but only a series of sort of pullbacks. You know, we had this one right here, we had another at 30, which took us down to about 25, and then we had a fairly substantial one right here, but none of these actually lasted a long time other than this one right here. And even this didn't last a long time. This was only a 7-day consolidation period. And if we move back to take a closer look at what this actually looked like right here, this was literally just Bitcoin finding a little bit of temporary resistance right here. If we trace this orange dotted line, this shows us where our current price is. So currently we're trading at $24,110. We were getting rejected at this price level on the way up. And this basically just put us in a very small sideways trading range, which lasted, if we measure this, 7 days until we ended up getting that breakout. So we've spent substantially longer here this time around. If we take a look at where we are now, let's move back to the present day. We've kind of been battling this area now for about 20 days. So we are definitely moving slower, but we are now on attempt number 3. And the thing is if we move back to where we were in 2020, you're going to start to see that actually this wasn't really strong resistance for the market, in my opinion. I mean, it wasn't really the biggest, scariest area of resistance from what I'm seeing, and so I wouldn't expect this to be particularly strong resistance. And so again, the fact that we're here now, it makes me think that we should be able to have a nice rise up. And, the only price action that Bitcoin ever had until we crashed down again between 24,000 and 28,000 was what happened in this price area right here. We never traded in this price range again until we had our crash down this year. And I think that's really important, because if you look at how this breakout actually formed, especially on this time frame, you can already see it on the 4-hour time frame. We got a breakout, we came back down to retest this line. Look at this wick right here. We came back down to retest this old area of resistance now as a new area of support, and then blast off from there. We ended up going from 23,700 all the way up to a high of 28,000, pretty much just in one leg. And if I replay the chart back, we can actually zoom in a little bit closer and see this with a slightly more intimate view. Take a look at this. It's absolutely beautiful. We get that move up, come back down for a retest, that kiss of life, and then bam, we are off to the races. This was absolutely beautiful because it was a very, very substantial price move, an 18% move. I know that might not sound like a lot, but that is quite a large move. I actually traded this back in VIP all the way back then. We've been around for a very, very long time. You guys already know the deal. So if you want to jump inside, bam, follow these steps on screen so you can watch me trading in real time in this market as well. This was one of the biggest percentage profits I ever made in my life. And it was because this was a very, very predictable situation in the market. And I think we're looking at similar conditions right now as well. So very, very exciting time to be inside of VIP, as you already know the deal if you've been inside over these last few weeks. But what we have right here is potentially another beautiful green, blue sky breakout that we could be on the cusp of. And so if we move back to our current price now, which is where this chart is at the moment, again, we've got a pretty much, similar kind of empty gap here where not much trading actually happens between this green line at 23.7 and this green line at 28, which makes me think that now that we are pretty much right at the top of this range again, this should be quite a nice, easy range for Bitcoin to break out through, especially considering, like I said, we've had a series of rejections which are getting weaker, and we've had a nice area of consolidation. I don't actually think this was a nice range in the moment, but obviously looking back at it in hindsight, this is a very, very nice area for the market to kind of pull back to, still staying in the resistance area, right? The resistance area is this box. If I just color this box differently so that you can see it very clearly, we make this yellow and then move back to 2020. This is the same range that Bitcoin was consolidating in that I was outlining to you guys just a minute ago, right? It's the exact same range. This yellow box right here is the exact range that Bitcoin actually managed to come back down to and did not fall out of, and now we're back up. And you guys will remember in my most recent video, I was saying that, every time we started to slip, just deviating like 1.5% below our support levels or whatever, people started to really lose their shit. People are very, very fragile right now with their headspace, and it's not just the masses, right? Like genuinely what I would consider to be good competent traders and analysts have been getting very, very worried, I think unnecessarily, in this market right now. And we are seeing some reflection of that with the fear and greed index. Take a look at this. Obviously, it hasn't updated yet because this price action is very recent, but we are consistently looking at readings of 30 today, 30 yesterday, 33 last week. It's been steady and stable for quite a while now. Take a look at this. You can see how the market ended up, reaching these 30s and then just kind of staying here pretty much since late July. So the last 20 days or so now, we have been looking at a situation where we're still fearful, guys. I mean, we're not in extreme fear anymore. Fuck me, we were in extreme fear for a long time. We don't stay down there forever, but we're still at low levels. People are still definitely quite concerned, and I was kind of trying to bring that voice of reason into the market, saying that actually, guys, nothing's changed yet. I mean, yeah, we might be slipping low a little bit, but we've got a lot of support levels, and I think that's really important to be keeping in mind. So I really hope that you guys were able to benefit from that analysis. If you were, do me a favor and just throw up a like on this video if you haven't done so already. Also, if you want to support the channel in any other ways and just make your own money really, really well as well, then Bybit is the place to be. They are offering you over $4,000 to sign up using my link in the description down below. And as you guys have heard me saying for a long time, over these last couple of years, this has been pretty much the only exchange that I have been putting my money on, pretty much the only exchange that I have been trading with my money on. And the reason I choose it is because it is safe, it is reliable, it has great liquidity, it's very quick, it's super easy to use, and what they are offering you if you follow my link in the description is over $4,000 to sign up and use the same exchange that I trust with my own trading activities. So if you just go in the description of this video, you'll find this link right here, /crypto.com/Bybit. It's going to take you to this page right here, which actually shows you how to claim your bonuses. This is a very quick 2.5-minute video, so it's extremely fast for you to get your bonuses. And in this time, I actually sign up to Bybit in front of you, so that shows you just how easy it is. Definitely take advantage of this if you would like to benefit from everything that Bybit is offering you guys. It is an absolutely huge offer, and you're getting some free products from me as well. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but that is all in the description down below. Moving back to the charts here, though, definitely an exciting time because of all of that, and especially being able to keep a level head right now, I think is very, very useful indeed. The markets are optimistic, though. Take a look at Ethereum continuing to climb higher. You guys will remember I was giving you guys this target for Ethereum that I was expecting with this red line, that Ethereum was able to hit this yellow box. We've now done that. We're actually at the very top of this yellow box now, and this is getting quite exciting because Ethereum's in a very similar position to Bitcoin. In fact, Ethereum's position is a little bit more exciting because if Ethereum manages to break out, it's got about a 35 to 40% move up until it reaches its next area of resistance. Whereas with Bitcoin, the area of resistance that I'm expecting is going to be that 28K region, primarily because this is the low that we set on our crash back down. So obviously we could and hopefully will end up rising significantly higher than that if we get a bullish breakout, potentially even up to 30 and so on like that. That would be very nice because this was a very important level back in summer of last year. So it would be nice to see the market returning back up here. However, with that said, 28K is going to be my first target for Bitcoin, and it's not that far away. It is only about a 15% range. So it's nice. It's something. It's definitely tradable. I've already got something planned, which I'm going to be sharing in VIP right after this video. So if you want to take advantage of it, follow that first link in the description down below. Again, same deal right here. Very first link over here, and you'll see the steps to get inside VIP, or you can just follow these steps on screen. They are the same thing. And the reason that this is something that I'm looking at is, purely because you've got this very nice empty gap where you can see no trading really happens between these two green lines right here, 28 and 23.7. Again, for Ethereum, that range is even larger. For Ethereum, I mean, it's quite quick, nice zips all the way up and all the way down throughout this price range. And so I would like to see that Ethereum is able to pull something like that off again. Ethereum, as usual, looking better, more appealing and more exciting than Bitcoin to me. It's always going to be harder to trade, and that's why I talk about it after Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is obviously going to be the main mover, but yeah, this does still look very good, and I will be keeping VIPs up to date on what I'm looking for that. This was great, though. I'm very happy that Ethereum fully fulfilled my bullish target right here. Obviously, it wasn't a particularly difficult prediction for me to make, but it was nice to see that it came into fruition anyway, and I think that we are potentially just ready to make another leg up right now. Now, do we need a bit of a pullback before that happens? Yeah, absolutely. That would be nice. It would be nice to get a bit of a pullback. Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, has a big big area of resistance, according to this daily 𝗙𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗦. The last one for Ethereum was quite disastrous. It lined up perfectly with an existing area of resistance that we knew about. Ethereum hit it and then, tumbled lower, actually quite substantially lower from that high down to our low. That was a minus 75% drop, and it happened within less than 3 months. I mean, this was quite a catastrophic sell-off. I mean, that was a vicious, bloody sell-off. And this is Ethereum. I mean, you talk about other shitcoins in the market, other altcoins in the market, and it was a massacre. I mean, it was horrible. It was disgusting. And Bitcoin obviously seeing something similar within the same time frame, but not nearly as bad. Bitcoin only down by minus 62%. The difference between minus 62% and minus 75% is enormous. In fact, I'll demonstrate this for you right now. Bitcoin here went from $48,000. Let's hide all of these drawings. Bitcoin here went from $48,000. One sec. To our low, which put us at minus 62. That was 17,000. For Bitcoin to drop by minus 75%, that would put us all the way down at 11.6. So that puts it into perspective, right? We set our low right here in the high 17s. We would have had to drop down into the mid 11s to reflect the same loss that Ethereum had. And again, we are talking about the two largest cryptocurrency coins. I mean, if you were in any of these altcoins, then it's a totally different story. You would have gotten absolutely destroyed. And it's the reason that I told you guys I sold my altcoins off a very long time ago. I just don't engage in this market. I don't buy into the hype. I don't buy into the euphoria or the excitement or the sadness. I am just here to make money. A lot of people, they say they want to make money. Of course, everyone says they want to make money, but their actions don't reflect it. Their actions generally reflect that actually they want to gamble and they want to feel emotional swings. And you might think that I'm bullshitting you, but if that's what you keep finding yourself in, well then, what do you really want? That's a question to look yourself in the mirror and ask. It's a very difficult one, but hey, guess what? Nobody said that trading would be easy. This is an incredibly difficult thing to do, and that's why we aim to teach how we do it in this very, I would call, far more predictable, far more controllable way to trade that I like to, show you how I pull it off inside of 𝗪fly's VIP, how many other members have been able to do the same thing just by following these steps on the screen right here. Absolutely beautiful stuff though, very, very cool. Let's bring it back to the chart though, just for the minute, and take a little bit of a closer look at what might end up happening. Let's talk about rejections now. So are we going to get a third rejection? Well, like I said, I didn't expect this area to be particularly strong resistance in the first time. So the fact that we got rejected once, okay, you can give it that. The second time, I don't know. I mean, still resistance, but third time, maybe a little bit of a pullback, but I don't really see Bitcoin getting a strong rejection this time. If we did, that would mean that we have formed a triple top. Bitcoin almost never forms triple tops. In fact, most markets don't form triple tops. Double tops, yes, super common. But if we come back up for a third attempt, that is usually a sign that actually we're carrying a lot of strength in the market. So I don't like to ignore those kind of things. I think that's a pretty important sign to be paying attention to. And for that reason, like I said, I mean, a little bit of a perhaps sideways range, maybe even a pullback down to, some of these lows and then back up could make sense. But for the most part, I'm not going to be holding my breath. A lot of people, when Bitcoin fell down to 17, were holding their breath, waiting for, a $15,000, $16,000 Bitcoin and so on. We're now, nearly $10,000 higher than those levels. And of course, we're not really showing signs of slowing down. So I think that it does make sense to be prepared for this kind of move at a time like this. It certainly looks like a move like this could be opening up now. Like I said previously, we do have this daily 𝗙𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗦, which could offer some resistance to Bitcoin and become a little bit of a problem. But just like I've been saying, I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be a problem to break up into this cloud. And now that we're in it, we've got pretty much free reigns up until about $33,000 as far as I'm concerned. I mean, anywhere in this cloud should and could act as resistance. However, it's always going to be the very bottom and the very top of these clouds that are the more critical levels to be paying attention to. Generally they do just represent large areas of resistance in the market. So I don't want to act like I think we're fully bullish now and going back up to all-time highs. Obviously, I think it's possible. I think anything is possible. But what I don't want to do is lull myself or you into a false belief that this resistance is is something to be ignored. I mean, it's not. It's just that it's very long term, and so you need to wait for other long term signs to line up to show us that actually, yeah, we could be ready for resistance, and one of those things could be potentially getting a rejection at our prior areas of support, potentially flipping into resistance and then sending us much lower. Super possible, quite likely, I would say as well, but it's all a little bit too early to speculate on that stuff because we haven't actually pushed up into those ranges yet. So that's what I'm seeing in this market right here. Definitely a quite exciting time. Ethereum looking quite strong as well. I'm going to be watching the altcoins as well. Let's take a quick peek at the dollar. Dollar looking like it's finding resistance at an area which it was able to previously briefly call support, so that is nice to see. If the dollar does continue to drop down from here, bear in mind it is still going to be in quite a bullish formation overall on this index. I mean, it is still definitely not in any bad shape whatsoever, but if we do start to see the dollar continuing to drop lower, then of course I think that's going to really pave the way for Bitcoin and the like to absolutely skyrocket up. So that would be quite exciting. So those are the things that I'm seeing in the market right now. One last thing actually is what would happen if the market does end up dropping down. I think if the market does end up dropping down now, like I said, it's quite unusual that Bitcoin punches in triple tops, which would mean that if we did, this would probably be quite disastrous. We'd probably fall down by quite a bit, and I have to expect that even though we have support levels at 22.7, 21.7, this is my favorite area of support for the chart. This is a very nice area of support. Let's actually see if it lines up with any Fibonacci retracements, but I need to take a naked chart for this. Draw this from our from our low to our current high. And we have a 382 level at the $22,000 area, and to where this rally began, we do have we've 22.2, and we have nothing hugely significant actually, nothing that I would deem to be particularly concerning, so or particularly useful, I should say. But yeah, 21.7, this area that the market was previously struggling at a little bit, just kind of anywhere in this range really, potentially I think quite a good area of support. But like I said, if Bitcoin is about to be punching in a triple top pattern of sorts, then I'm not optimistic, and I do think that this would spell the end of our uptrend here, and potentially the recontinuation of our downtrend. And you know what? It's been an adequate space of time since we began this move up, where, like I said, we're 50 days in, 50 to 56 days, depending on which time frame you look at, of course. And with that in mind, this is enough time for the market to reset itself and then start going bearish again. I don't like to say it, I don't want to see it either, but the facts are the facts, ladies and gents. It doesn't really matter how I feel. We are at resistance right now, so there is some reason to believe that we might end up dropping back down. So I just want to make sure that we're not completely shutting those possibilities off and putting on rose-tinted glasses just because we want to talk about our investments going up. It's a very dangerous idea, and hopefully by now, in the middle of 2022, you have learned that lesson very well, so that you don't fall into these kind of mistakes, and that you do focus on the facts, not on the feelings. The focus on the feelings, that's for the new generation of traders that'll be entering the market next time. While you stick around, while you keep learning, you jump inside of 𝗓𝗡lies VIP, learn everything you need to learn to grab this market by the balls so that you don't make these mistakes when the market starts becoming a lot more tradable. It's already looking very hot anyway. You don't want to be in a position where you're still not, you still haven't learned lessons that you already should have, purely because you want to keep, sticking to your emotions, sticking to your gut feelings, and so on. It's a very bad idea, and this is something that we aim to fix with you right here. So if you want to jump inside, then bam, these are the steps on screen. If you want your free cash, if you want over $4,000 to trade on the same exchange that I trust with my trading activities, then check out this link to Bybit as well. Like I said, you are getting over $4,000 paid into your account when you sign up using that link in the description down below. So that is very well worth checking out. Definitely do so if you like free money and you want to trade on the same platform that I'm using. With that though, I hope you have enjoyed this video. You know what to do if you have. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff, and I'm out. Bye bye.